What's good, people? It's your content guy, Breeze here. First off, I want to thank you for coming over and checking out the channel. What we do here is we highlight the channels that are next to blow on YouTube. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Next up on the roster, we have Dose of Mystery. The content on the channel covers the final hours of life for some of the most popular people in entertainment. They give all the details that led to the untimely demise of these individuals, but it's done in a respectful way, where they shed light on what these individuals meant to the world, while also sharing what these individuals meant to their loved ones. The channel highlights things about these events that aren't widely known. When referring to the Young Dolph murder, they educate us on the fact that one of the suspects got on police radar because the car used during the Dolph homicide was left at the same location where one of the suspects shot a music video at previously. When referring to the Lil Snoop homicide, they let us know that there were only 3 people in the house at the time during his murder, yet neither one of the suspects are being held legally responsible for it. And in 2015, Lil Snoop's mother received a letter from the Winfield Police Department stating that the investigation would not be pursued further and that the case was closed. On the channel, they let us know that minutes before Nipsey Hussle was killed, he took a pic with the woman that drove his killer to the scene. When addressing the murder of rapper Trouble, they let us know that Trouble's killer was the ex-boyfriend of the woman he was visiting that night, and that the two had broke up only 5 days prior to the altercation when Trouble was killed. They also covered the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant and the airplane crash that killed Aaliyah. In reference to the crash that killed Kobe, they let us know that the helicopter didn't have a terrain avoidance warning system, which is a safety net to help reduce incidents like the one that occurred. They also let us know that first responders, including police officers and firefighters, shared photos of the deceased bodies. When referring to the crash that killed Aaliyah, they let us know that the pilot had traces of cocaine in his urine at the time of the crash. Just 12 days before the crash, the pilot was sitting before a judge, being accused of 3 felonies, including stealing a toolbox, a toy airplane, trying to sell $345 worth of stolen aircraft parts, and possession of cocaine. He had only been on the job a few days when he took the flight. So y'all go check out the great content being produced by Dose of Mystery. Next up on the roster, we have Swish Out. The content on the channel covers all things NBA. In one video, he covers how Paul George has ruined his reputation in the NBA, citing things like him being the NBA's biggest finesser, him having no true basketball home, and him literally just talking too much. Paul George has finessed 2 different teams already in his NBA career, and it looks like he's working on a third. While with the Indiana Pacers, Paul George told the fan base that he planned to be a Reggie Miller-like franchise player for them, then requested a trade the following year at the worst time with only a year left on his deal. The trade ultimately worked out for the Pacers, because it was the trade that led to them getting their franchise player Tyrese Halliburton. While with the Oklahoma City Thunder, he had a party saying he was going to stay with Russell Westbrook in OKC. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, him and Kawhi Leonard orchestrated a trade for them both to end up with the Los Angeles Clippers. Thunder fans might still hold Paul George in high regard, only because of what they got in return from him being traded. They received present-day league MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that trade. Now Paul is with the Philadelphia 76ers. Since being in a Sixer uniform, Paul has had more buzz about his podcast than his on-the-court game, with him playing only 41 games this season. When the Clippers blew a 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets, Paul George stated that internally they felt it was not a championship or bust year, which we knew was a lie. In another video, Swish Out covers NBA takes that age horribly, with him pointing out how everyone thought it would be such a bad idea for JJ Redick to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. Considering all the things that JJ had to deal with in his first year, he did a really good job. Coaching LeBron is already a task within itself. But along with that, he had to deal with implementing his son into the rotation. Then he had to deal with the biggest mid-season trade we've ever seen, when the Lakers acquired Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. Dealing with all that, he still managed to get the Lakers to finish as 3rd best in the Western Conference. On the channel, he also reacts to the media criticizing Anthony Edwards for shooting more threes this season, with a lot of people saying this was making him easier to guard and that it was a bad look for the game, period. But when you look at the stats, you see that Ant was making these threes. So much so that he's only behind the 2 greatest shooters ever. Also, Ant's great shooting from deep has helped his team offense flow better, considering he now plays with the notorious ball stopper Julius Randle. In another video, he covers how Bradley Beal robbed 2 NBA franchises. So y'all go check out the great content being produced by Swish Out. Alright guys, if you like the content, I want you to like and subscribe. And if you can think of a channel that you think should have made the roster, leave it down in the comment section. Peace.